to the right, behind the coach, coming out and jawing at DeWanna Bonner. DeWanna Bonner says, yeah, it was a foul. And Clark is saying, no foul, no foul. Yes, it was a foul.
Again, guys, I don't know about you all, but I am very excited for tomorrow's game, tomorrow night. Okay, it'll be game 1 of the 7-game series, okay, for the WNBA Finals. We will see who is better, okay, a battle of the deserts, if you will. That's what I want to call it. Phoenix Mercury versus the Las Vegas Aces, okay? If you guys don't know, Phoenix, Arizona, it's just literally just a 5-hour drive, okay, in a car from Las Vegas, Nevada, okay? Very close, very, somewhat similar desert type of climate, okay? Same Western Conference, 2 teams in the Western Conference in the finals for the WNBA, and we shall see who's going to take home the championship for the 2025 WNBA, right? But I wasn't going to talk too much about this because it's like more negativity and drama concerning the WNBA, concerning the Indiana Fever. Like, we ain't got enough, okay? Between Nafisa Collier putting Kathy Engelbert on blast the other day, the Indiana Fever getting defeated by the Las Vegas Aces in Game 5 of the semifinals. We saw Kelsey Mitchell take a nasty injury. They said she could have possibly even died. That's how serious her condition was, right? With that muscle cramping and the weakness. And she actually felt paralysis. She experienced being paralyzed. That lasted between 5 to 7 seconds. Very, very terrifying stuff. But a couple days ago, guys, DeWanna Bonner spoke a little bit about her negative experience that she experienced when she was playing for the Indiana Fever. If you guys don't remember, let me refresh your memory. In the beginning of the season, it was like breaking headlines. DeWanna Bonner has decided to sign on to be a player for the Indiana Fever. She only ended up playing for 9 games. She kind of was like, quiet quitting. First, she was, out due to rest. She was out due to personal reasons. And then she just altogether said, to hell with this. I'm requesting a trade. And of course, she ended up at Phoenix Mercury, where it all began for her. That's where she actually was drafted for, like back in the day, right? She's on her, 16th, 17th season. Okay, DeWanna Bonner actually won a championship, her first championship with the Phoenix Mercury. Very, come like a very surreal, full circle moment for her, right? She's now in the finals with the Phoenix Mercury, alongside her fiance being Nalyssa Thomas, aka Thomas the Train. And DeWanna Bonner spoke a little bit about cyberbullying, okay? And I want to tie that in because somebody made a very interesting tweet about how the irony. They said, who would have thought that both DeWanna Bonner and Nalyssa Smith, they both played for the Indiana Fever, and they both kind of spoke about how negative it was, how they didn't really enjoy their time being Indiana Fever players. And now we both see them in this current WNBA season competing in the finals, competing for the championship. Oh, the irony. Guys, I just want to read to you a little quote and an excerpt from Sports Illustrated. It is titled, DeWanna Bonner Cyberbullying Claim About Ugly Fever Exit Raises Eyebrows. It reads, Bonner doesn't think fondly of her tenure with the Fever, which has made for some fascinating moments between her and her former teammates on the court. That is very true. And Bonner sent a strong message about this time of her life when speaking with the ESPN broadcast after Sunday's game, as she said, coming in mid-season, I'm just so happy that Phoenix accepted me. I love them so very much. I was at a low point in my career, and then they just picked me up and loved me, Bonner, who spent the first 10 seasons of her WNBA career with the Mercury, added, I'm just happy to be home and be with this group. Bonner spoke more about this sentiment when addressing the media post-game. She was asked how she was able to overcome the mental hurdles that earlier in the season presented, and she said, I don't know if I've overcome it yet. It's been like a whirlwind, but it's been tough. I've been through a lot, especially like the cyberbullying, things like that, per a Twitter post from the Desert Wave Media. I don't think I'm over it, she continued. Again, and that makes sense, okay? The whole cyberbullying, that has literally been so many campaigns, that, included the Chicago Sky. More specifically, Angel Reese talking about it's time to stop cyberbullying athletes, stop cyberbullying the women in the WNBA. It's not okay. Y'all need to stay out of people's comments. Again, I've never cyberbullied anybody, okay? I may, criticize them here on my channel or even on social media. Listen, no matter how I felt about Dana Evans, she messed it up on Game 5. Y'all saw what she did. Y'all saw what that mess she pulled. She gave us 4 turnovers against the Indiana Fever. She literally would throw the ball to an Indiana Fever player. Not once did I have this urge to go onto Instagram, DM her, and talk crazy to her. Okay, I never do that. I never at any players. If I ever slide into anybody's DMs, it's very rare. It's just to congratulate them on a good game, or even just send them a happy birthday. That's it. Okay, I don't bully people online in real life, etc., etc. We got to stop that, guys. We're all adults. Okay, yes, some of these players be getting on my nerves. I know everybody be getting on my nerves. Okay, but to be cyberbullying people, atting people. And we did see that a lot, right? It was a lot of Indiana Fever fans. Let's be real. They were highly upset. They said that, DeWanna Bonner fleeced the Indiana Fever. She finessed them for a bag, okay? But she low-key did, okay? If we being all the way real. She only played for 9 games for the Indiana Fever, got the check, and then went up this road to the Phoenix Mercury to play with her fiance. They were like, she's a quitter. DeWanna Bonner's a quitter, and people have that. We adopted that catchphrase of she don't want to play anymore. A play onto her name, DeWanna. Get it? She don't want to play anymore. We saw that with DeJounte Carrington when she quiet quit the Dallas Wings, etc., etc. People was coming for DeWanna Bonner's life, and I remember when Nalyssa Smith, again last season, Nalyssa Smith, after she did her exit interviews, whatever, and the season ended for the Indiana Fever, they got swept out of the playoffs, okay? Connecticut Sun beat them in both games, best 2 out of 3. And she just had this long, lengthy, I'm not going to read the whole thing, I got it here on my laptop. But to summarize it, she thanked her girlfriend, DeJounte Carrington, for being there. She thanked the Indiana Fever fans. She thanked her teammates, but she was like, this was a lot. She said people, was always constantly criticizing her basketball skills, making her question her love for the game. She was like, pretty much she was just talking about how last season for 2024 for Nalyssa Smith, being an Indiana Fever team player alongside the likes of, say, Caitlin Clark, if we're being real, mainly her, she drew a lot of attention, but with that attention, she drew a lot of criticisms. She even kind of was like, Coach Chrissy Sides was kind of riding her, but let's be honest. Nalyssa Smith, I ain't saying she deserved to be cyberbullied, but some of the criticisms that she received from last season, being on the Fever, it was warranted. She was playing lazy. Yes, she got benched. Okay, she was no longer a starting 5 player. She began to be like a 6th woman, if that, because she was not playing up to par. That's just what it is. But it's like some of the bullying, the people were attacking her girlfriend, DeJounte Carrington, sending her threats. They were stalking her. She was talking about all the horrible things that she had went through mentally and physically being an Indiana Fever player, but she still, she had class, she had grace. She still thanked them for their time and the times they had, the good and the bad. But she was like, I'm grateful it's over with, okay? And now we see the same thing with DeWanna Bonner. Who can forget the Caitlin Clark incident that occurred between Caitlin Clark and DeWanna Bonner on the court? Okay, this was back in the day. So what had happened was it was a verbal back and forth exchange that occurred between Bonner and Caitlin Clark during a timeout in a game between the Fever and the Mercury in late August 2025. Okay, so yeah, at this point, this was actually after DeWanna Bonner got waived. Remember, she was cut from the Indiana Fever. So now she's on the Phoenix Mercury team. And I believe, this was late August, so I believe in that game, Caitlin Clark was not playing, but she was on the bench. But she had still kind of gotten into a verbal altercation with DeWanna Bonner on the court. Again, I'm going to try to search for the videos and put the clip in, right, in this video. And it's like, you can see it's still some tension, okay? And people were saying, more than likely, even when DeWanna Bonner was a player on the Indiana Fever, she probably was not getting along with the players, her teammates, right? Which is normal. Even the most healthiest, the most respectful teams and teammates, you're going to have disagreements. You're going to be frustrated with one another because this play ain't go as planned and etc., right? But it's like, it's clear that DeWanna Bonner just, again, she said it herself, she just does not fit in the program of the Indiana Fever, okay? I'm sure, she meant that both literally and figuratively, meaning, I don't fit that program physically, basketball, skills-wise, efficiency. Yes, DeWanna Bonner is her. Yes, she is she. She's still a very great basketball player, but again, she's 37 now. The high sprinting runs, the jumping and the acrobatics that, so many Indiana Fever, the team as a whole is known for. She was like, I just don't fit in with that type of play. But also, I don't believe that she fit in with the Indiana Fever personality-wise, okay? I'm sure what had happened was, again, I'm not there, obviously, in their locker room. But more than likely, if I have to speculate, is that DeWanna Bonner having the most experience. She's on season 16, 17. Caitlin Clark and the likes of them, but mainly Caitlin Clark only being on, year 2 in the league. You don't have as much playoff experience. Guys, literally, DeWanna Bonner is the only WNBA player. She's the #1 WNBA player who has the most playoff experience out of any player. Because, again, she's 37. This is her 16th, 17th season. And I'm sure, she would try to be that veteran leader, that guide. And perhaps Caitlin Clark was like, what, I don't believe that, I don't want to say she was like, don't listen to Bonner, listen to me, or listen to Coach. But it's like, I'm sure they kind of, they began to butt heads when it came to certain things on the court, okay? And it's like, again, DeWanna Bonner has that veteran experience, that leadership. She has the experience. She has the years, the time and grade and service, right? She's in the military. That's what we kind of go off of. It's not about your age, you're this, you're that, your race, your gender. It's about that experience in your rank. Like it or not, DeWanna Bonner outranks Caitlin Clark, right? And it's like, I'm sure she's kind of like, she kind of had that, what do you call it? That, I don't want to say elderliness, but she had that seniority. Like, I'm older. I have the time and great experience. Y'all need to listen to me. Or you, Caitlin, need to listen to me. You don't really know what you're talking about. And I don't know, maybe Caitlin Clark felt like she tried to little girl her, and they would just bump heads in the locker room, on the court, off the court. It's like, clearly it was some conflicts, okay, going on, but it's like, again, it's all speculation, but that's just my best guess as to why DeWanna Bonner was like, you know what, I'm done with this. It's time for me to get up out of here. Again, it's very interesting that we see both DeWanna Bonner and Nalyssa Smith kind of break free from the Indiana Fever, and they are both doing much better. Again, that's a great team. Again, I said it the other night when they had played Game 5, Las Vegas Aces, up against the Indiana Fever. The Vegas Aces barely won. They barely beat them by the skin of their teeth, right? But it's like, again, they just have a certain type of playing style that's very fast-paced. Nalyssa Smith, nor do, DeWanna Bonner fit that. And they were struggling, okay? Their field goal percentages, their three-point percentages, their just points per game was low in comparison to when they got traded to Phoenix Mercury and the Las Vegas Aces, both respectively. So, it is what it is. But again, I just think it's very interesting that they broke free from that. They broke free from the team, and they are both now about to be going up against each other in the WNBA Finals starting tomorrow, Game 1. Guys, I cannot wait. I will be calling that game. But guys, comment down below your thoughts on DeWanna Bonner talking about, she was all the cyberbullying she had to deal with when she was on the Indiana Fever, and when she left the Indiana Fever. And also comment down below your thoughts on just how interesting it is that both DeWanna Bonner and Nalyssa Smith left the Indiana Fever, and they will now be facing off with each other in the WNBA Finals starting tomorrow.